Hey guys, today we're going to talk about changing fractions to decimals to percents. So we should already be experts at changing fractions to decimals. To go from a fraction to a decimal, remember you can either find a denominator of either 10 or 100, or you could just divide it out. To go from a decimal to a fraction, you just use place value. So if it's 0.4, that's 4/10, so it's just 4 over 10. So the only new thing we're doing today is really talking about how to change those things to percents. So, thinking back to last year, what does percent mean? Y'all should remember from last year that percent means per 100. An easy way that we can remember that is that if we look here at the word percent, the word cent, y'all should know what that means. A cent, think about where you've heard that before. It should be with money. So, if you think about money, cents, there's how many cents in a dollar? 100. So that's why percent literally means per 100. So we can think that percent means per 100. So if we're talking about fractions and we want to change it into a percent, we want to find out how much per is the fraction bar, 100. So x over 100, x would be what your percentage is. Or if you're thinking about decimals to change them to a percent, you would just say the decimal number times 100 to find out what the percent would be. So let's look at an example. We're going to start with just looking at this fraction, 2/5. So 2/5, how do we change a fraction into a percent? We said that if we wanted to change a fraction directly into percent, we just need to find out how much it is per 100. So that's just like the ratios and the proportions that we just finished learning about. 2/5, we want to change it to something out of 100, because percent means per 100. So we want to find what is x per 100. Can we get from 5 over to 100? Well, in this case, it's really easy to get from 5 to 100. We should all know 5 times what equals 100? 5 times 20. Very nice. So that's all we have to do is the same thing on the top. 2 times 20 would get us x. 2 times 20 is 40, so x is 40. So we have 40 per 100. That's 40%. Super, super easy. Now, what if our denominator wasn't like 5? So it wasn't a very easy way to change it. This was our first way that we can change a fraction to a percent, is just find out how much it is per 100. So make sure you write that's the first way we could do it in our notes. We have another way we can change a fraction into a percent though. So if we have 2/5, another way we can find the percent if 5 wasn't the denominator and we couldn't get to 100 easily is we could just divide it and turn it into a decimal. So if we divide out 2 divided by 5, we would get 0.44. So now we have a decimal, then we got to change our decimal into a percent. Well, on that first page I said the way we change a decimal, 4/10, into a percent is we just multiply by 100. Anytime you multiply by 100, all you're really doing is moving your decimal over 2 times. So 0.4 times 100 would be 40. And if you had to work that out, if you didn't know that, we can still work it out. 4 times 0 is 0, 4 times 0 is 0, 4 times 1 is 4. We have the 1 decimal space, so we move over 1 space from the back. That's 40.0, which is just 40. So that's 40%. Now, I have a tricky way that I like changing decimals to percents, and the way that I do that is I use Dr. Pepper. So how many of y'all like Dr. Pepper? I love, love, love Dr. Pepper. So I'm going to show you on the next page if I had the decimal, how I would change it into a percent. So first I draw a thing like this, and I label it Dr. Pepper. So I have my decimal, 0.4 right here, and I want to change it to a percent. The only thing you need to remember about Dr. Pepper is you move your decimal twice. So if I want to change it from a doctor to a pepper, from a decimal to a percent, I just move it over 2 times, 1, 2, put my decimal there, and my decimal 0.4 changes to 40%. What if we had the percent? So let's say we had 4% instead of 40%. That means I need to move back towards my doctor. So I move my decimal 1, 2. That means my decimal that matches 4